you brought us up the grandparents. Did you and your brother and all? Now, as far as I remember you telling stories about the little schoolhouse you went to there. And maybe if you could tell us a little about that, about your mother. I know she was drove the bus, didn't she, around?
Oh yes,
the
Frank used to drive a horse bus. The road to the north was just a dirt road, and spring of the year, of course, was nothing but mud. This was a very horse-drawn bus to the team of horses, and very high. Of course, there weren't many students to bring down, maybe 10. This road was so bad you could get on it with the old Model T, and you got in a rut, and you could let go of the wheel because you couldn't get out of the rut in the spring of the year.
Was this the early 20s? 20s, during the 20s?
This would have been in the 20s. I don't know exactly when, probably as early as 1923, 24, somewhere along in there.
When did you move to Fort Crossroads?
Moved there in 1921
Well, it wasn't.
from outside of Furnaceville.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Dad was down there for, I believe, 2 years on the, what was called the old, I don't know, well, I think it was called the Brummett Farm, but it was right near the school down there.
Mm-hmm.
Where Bud went to school, started the school there, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I started the school, of course, at Porter Crossroads. No kindergarten in those days.
Mm-hmm.
Up there, you had 4 grades in a room and 2 teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Dad had the first motorized school bus in the township. In fact, the township was so poor, Dad bought not only the Model T chassis, but had to buy the bus body also. And then in 1930, he bought the chassis for Chevy, and the township had enough money to buy the school bus body at that time. Thinking back to the old Model T, there again, one always told about, I remember vaguely, Dad started out, these are of course real high tires, but he started out on the route one morning in, I believe, like May the 10th, and it got so bad he turned around, dropped the kids back off, and just barely made it back home with a snowstorm.
Oh my.
One of
That
those
late in the
freaks.
year. My, oh my.
I know Bud and I had been going barefoot before that. And then comes a snowstorm.
Here.
Well, you used to have a horse,
Pony.
pony? What's its name, do you remember?
Beauty.
Beauty?
Dad bought her the sale when she was a colt. In fact, he was at that time had a Model T, and
How old were you approximately when he got you that?
I am not sure.
You remember when you had your leg broken? What year was that?
Well,
Did Beauty fall on your...
Yeah, but she was growing then, but she was so small
Mm-hmm.
that when Dad brought her home from the sale, he put her in between the back seat and the front seat, standing in between. Just standing there. There was a room enough in the back of the Model T for her to stand on the floor.
How about
Brought her
that?
home. She was cute, but she grew up to be a good-sized pony. In fact, Dad was making wood a mile and a half away. Both of us used to ride her through the woods to get to where he was chopping wood, getting wood for winter. So she was good size.
What year was it? You had your leg broken. I'm trying
Well,
to
I
figure out
was
how
in
old
the
she
seventh.
was.
I was in the 7th grade. when I had the leg broken.
We can figure that.
12 or 13 then.
Probably third,
Be about it.
no, 12, 11.
Mhm.
See, because 4 years of high school, I was 16 when I graduated. I was 12 when I got out of grade school.
And 4.
Hmm.
Of course, I only had 7 years of grade school because I took first to second and went to third.
Mhm.
Oh.
So but you, as I've told you before, certainly with a multi-grade room, if you were interested in learning, you learned a lot because you listened to the grades ahead of you.
Very good.
And you got a review on what you
It's coming
had
up.
gone by. So there was a lot to be said for those 1 and 2 room schoolhouses.
Uh-huh.
And of course, it was right across the road. It was very convenient for me.
Was your, you may have mentioned already, your dad and mom, do you know where they met and all? And just curious.
Not exactly. At some time I had heard where they had met, but I'm not sure because Mom lived out south and west of Valparaiso, and Dad at that time was his folks. Not absolutely sure. It was somewhere over around Michigan City. It may have been over by Westville, near Clear Lake, near the,
Mm-hmm.
which is, because I know they lived along the railroad track there, just west and just north of Westville. I think it was a B&O Railroad. And when he was courting, of course, he drove a horse and buggy over to beyond Valpo.
Hmm.
And as I say, at least once, if not more than once, he would go to sleep coming home, and at one time, for sure, the horse was waiting. He woke up, and the horse was waiting for the train to go by.
Oh, dear.
And then I know at other times he spoke about getting home just in time to change clothes and go to work on the farm. His older brother, Frank, would cuss him out for being, and make him go right to work again.
Why?
So at least you could go to sleep coming home in the buggy. And you can't do that with a car. It doesn't work too well.
Now you're just staying on subject with your family there. Now was Dad mainly a farmer? Was that his source of income?
Yes, it was probably at least for a long time, and of course he did make some money hauling school children for some time. I mean.
You have a farm there?
Well, at Porter Crossroads, there was just under 10 acres. Of course, he always farmed a lot on shares elsewhere, and worked whatever work he could find.
Mm-hmm.
Worked for a fella at that time had an old steam engine with a portable sawmill, and just anything that you could do to make a dollar.
Sure, sure.
And Mr. Lance.
And did work for the farmer next door, well, not on the farming, because actually was making hay forks to carry the hay up into the barn.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I worked there quite some time doing the same thing, assembling these.
And how much were you paid, Ron?
Yeah, all of 25 cents an hour. Yeah.
I had to get that in.
Good money, you were lucky to get it.